when you see something untoward being done as well, speak out about it, folks. When you see people acting in an unconscious way, speak out. And by this I mean your police and governments. I mean, when you see these people acting in a manner that is not in the best interest of the people, then speak out about it. Don't give in to the fear. Understand that they will continue to bring all of these draconian laws in place. They will continue to create this New World Order police state as long as we continue to not speak out about it. But just do it in the right way. Don't succumb to groupthink. There's no point going and having riots and protests. Just simply say no. Just simply don't comply with these laws, with these rules that they're putting in place. I don't know, folks. We just have to stand up to these people. And the way to do that, as I've often said, is through public awareness. So again, we come back to the importance of waking people up. But as I've tried to show you in this show, it's important that people find this information empowering. Because really it is empowering, but you just have to look at it from the correct perspective. It's easy to get scared. It's easy to succumb to one's fear of the unknown. It's easy to fall into shock when people find out just how much they've been lied to about reality, about the global situation, about everything, about global warming, about ancient history, everything, folks. There isn't anything that our governments have told us that is actually true. That's simply not the job of government. So it does come as quite a shock to people. And this is why the information really does need to be presented in a positive and empowering fashion. And this is why I always say that the best thing to do is to lead by example. Sure, there are a lot of good points to a lot of religions. There are a lot of good points to the New Age movement. But none of the paths that people are attempting to take in their search for salvation and unity, ultimately none of these paths will lead anywhere until people gain an understanding of the manipulation of self via the use of false ego, and until they gain an understanding of how to interface with the energy field that they are all part of, that we are all part of, that everything is part of. Understanding the reality truly does exist as above and so below, folks. It is a fractal reality. And in the center of the reality that goes infinitely above and infinitely below, humankind is the vector. We're at the very center of this reality. And everything we say and everything we do and all of our intentions and all of our emotions affect reality on every level, above and below. Because we are all part of the whole. We are all part of the one single consciousness. As soon as we learn to connect with each other, as soon as we truly understand and embrace the oneness that is all of creation, then the consciousness that is humanity, the consciousness that is this universe that is manifest as each soul in projection, each frequency of that consciousness manifested as each soul in projection, each of which is simply an observation point for the universe to observe itself. As soon as we make this connection to each other, this entire consciousness can shift, and it will shift. But in the meantime, this is simply a ride, folks. And that's why there's nothing to fear. There's a lot of bad stuff being created by certain frequencies in the consciousness, but the world they are attempting to create will ultimately fail. Because the world they are attempting to create is not in any way sustainable. It may be created for a while, but it will just be a temporary thing. And the problem that we face as a human society is that that world may well be created for a while, and if it is, we will have to deal with that world. And it won't be a world that's a very nice place to be. It won't be a very nice reality to be part of. But we can prevent that type of reality from being created by understanding how it's been created and understanding that we are the ones who are being used to create it. And the way to fix it, folks, the way to prevent it from ever being created at all, is to connect with each other. No guns, no revolution. We don't need any of that stuff. All we need to do is connect with each other. If everybody did this, it's game over. The consciousness shifts and we return to self. It's so simple, really, and it's so much in everybody's face that people simply can't see the forest for the trees. But just do it, folks. Just connect with each other. Understand what I've been saying today about how you can control your emotions, and once you've got these happy receptors in your brain, these happy neuropeptide receptors, it also helps you look at things from a different perspective. It makes it difficult for you to get upset about things. Also become aware of your mental environment. As I said, the mental environment is the environment of thoughts and influence in which you live. Its effect on your thinking, its effect on your emotions. A lot of this mental environment, its effect on you is even greater than the physical environment. And the mental environment is affected by all types of things, by government and commercial interests all around you. And when you can become aware of the mental environment, become aware of what you are consuming in the mental environment, media, books, persuasive friends, family, authority figures, all of this stuff, folks. Set your own guidelines. Be an individual. Set your own guidelines. Put everything in perspective and learn how to clearly discern what's going on. Learn to look at things objectively. Understand what other people and even the culture at large is telling you. Try to do this. Try to become aware of this mental environment. Become aware of your internal environment with what neuropeptides you are producing, what food you are giving your brain, and come into contact with that deeper knowledge that exists within you, that knowing, the knowing that is spoken to you by your intuition and the energy and the emotion that you feed back to that field. Having this knowledge, having this understanding of this deeper knowing within you, this knowledge brings you into direct contact with the deeper spiritual mind that the Creator has placed within you. It puts you in contact with the Creator, and at that level of knowledge, at that level of intuition, at that level of knowing, you are shielded from any outside interference and manipulation. It is within that knowledge that you will discover your greater spiritual purpose and the true reason for you projecting your consciousness into the world at this time. The true reason that you are right here and right now. I believe that all of us have chosen to be here for this shift. I believe that all of us are playing an important role, and it's up to us to discover what that role is, and when we do discover it, to acknowledge that that is our role in this creation at this particular time. Well, that's pretty well it for the show for me today, folks. That's pretty well the end of the show. Again, I thank you all for visiting thecrowhouse.com and for your continued support. I thank you all for continuing to listen to the radio show and listening to me babble on and ramble on the way I do about all of this esoteric mumbo-jumbo. I just hope that it does help some of the people out there, and I hope that it does help provide an understanding to people. Thank you again for visiting the website. If anybody ever can help with a donation, it's always very greatly appreciated and greatly needed. And I'll look forward to speaking to you all again next week. Thank you for listening to the show. In Lakesh, my friends, in Lakesh.